Look, I know why you're here. You wanna know, how can I appear normal, less embarrassing to my more well-adjusted friends? Like, sure, I get it. Owning a large number of pornographic comics is normal to me and you, and that one weird kid you're still pretending isn't you, even as you watch this video alone on the toilet with no one to judge you but a couple of questionably sentient poos. But what if, you're probably thinking, what if you could, instead of being less of a weeaboo, because let's face it, those body pillows aren't gonna love themselves, what if you could instead indoctrinate your friends to be a little more cringe? Well, I, as King of Weeaboos, have brought you not only 10 of the best recommendations for normies, but instructions on exactly how to sell them to someone who hasn't yet admitted to watching hentai. And no, you're not gonna find any fucking Dragon Ball or Naruto on this list, because I am a goddamn weeaboo and I can't even stand that shit. No, these are all anime you can show your mom. Well, maybe not perfect blue. So, in no particular order, my top 10 anime you can actually recommend to your sad normie friends. My first recommendation is actually not because it's for everyone, but because it's actually just fucking cool in an actual sense and not a talks about anime on the internet sense.
Psychopath.
Imagine, if you will, Blade Runner meets 1984, but smarter and cooler and better in every conceivable way. Sure, you could tell them it's about a society controlled by a central intelligence that chooses your life, your job, what food you eat, what porn you watch, and that assigns every single person a number based on how likely they are to commit crime and eliminates those it considers criminals until the system unravels when the system begins treating a serial killer as a model citizen, and how, if you read between the lines, the system actually forces people to become criminals to manipulate society for its own benefit, because it's really a commentary on how we fucking live in a society, man. Or you could just show them this clip of the Dominator fucking blowing this dude to pieces and just start screaming and wait for them to join in. Fuck yes!
新世界より
This one's gonna appeal to, I think technically they fall under normies, but given that trying to get people to fuck like bonobos is literally a main plot point of Shinsekai Yori, maybe be careful who you recommend it to. Okay, so if they like fantasy, not just Lord of the Rings, because who the fuck doesn't, but if they like read books and shit, maybe a post-apocalyptic story about magical eugenics will sound appealing to them. The story follows these kids in this magical school as they grow up and things just keep changing and the kids who fall behind keep disappearing, but none of them know because their memories are being altered until they eventually start questioning the things that seem out of place. A story about what it means to be human. Not in the fucking asshole existence of a soul kind of shit like another anime we'll get into in a sec. No, more like what humanity is. What it means to be a person and how our relationships define our humanity, our friends, our societies, how we can fuck each other's brains out like a couple horny bonobos in a great bonding session. That humanity.
Zipang.
Zipang is for people who have only ever experienced World War II through movies made by white people about destroying fascism with facts and logic. It's about this Japanese battleship caught up in a storm and time warped to the Battle of Midway in 1942. The crew, vowing to avoid changing the outcome of the war and altering history forever, decide not to interfere, ignoring thousands of people dying in battle until they're presented with the choice to save the life of a single man. And this man, upon learning about the future, challenges their belief that the present is something sacred, something to be protected at all costs. Why shouldn't they put an end to the war and change the future? Is history fate? Is it destiny? Or is history merely a sequence of events that did happen and that very well could have happened differently at any point in time? It's not only a fascinating look at World War II from the point of view of present-day Japan, it's a wildly insightful philosophy about the very concept of history itself.
Spy Family.
When I taught English to Japanese school children, I asked the class who watched Spy Family. Not only did literally almost everyone put up their hand, including the Japanese teacher, they all started chanting, "We love Spy Family," getting louder and louder until they began standing up on their desks shouting, "Oh, Captain, my Captain! Yeah, that didn't happen, but they did all watch Spy Family. It's about the world's greatest super spy who has to create a fake family that, by pure fucking coincidence, happens to be the world's most dangerous super assassin and a missing secret telepathic experiment child, and about how all of them struggle to keep their identities secret from each other, except the kid who knows everything because she has fucking psychic powers, except she doesn't because she's like 5. This is literally everything good about every piece of entertainment ever. It's funny, it's cool, it's heartwarming. Pick an adjective that you think your asshole normie friends would respond to. It's that. It's all of them. It's literally every positive adjective you could apply to any kind of entertainment. I don't know how that's fucking possible, but it's all of them. Literally everyone will like this.
広角機動隊
So, you ask them if they like The Matrix, and when they say yes, you slap them in the fucking face and say, no, you don't like The Matrix, you like Ghost in the Shell. Because it's basically The Matrix, except not at all, but The Matrix was kind of based on it in a really loose matter, so if they did like The Matrix, they'd probably like this too. This is one of those deep motherfuckers that asks the question of where to find the human soul. You know, if weebs had souls. It's about this society where people replace their organs and limbs with mechanical parts, and the question it asks you is, at what point do you stop being you and start being someone or something else? What if you replaced your entire body? What if you replaced even your brain and were nothing but an empty pile of secret data? Pile of data. What would you be? Would you be human? Would you still be a fucking weeaboo? Wow. Deep, bro.
王様ランキング
This one's for the Disney-liking motherfuckers. It's a fairy tale for adults. It's about this deaf boy who everyone thinks is, for lack of a better word, the little retarded kid. It's like Disney in that it's about compassion and understanding, but unlike Disney, there are no real villains. Through the little deaf boy who becomes king, it makes you stop and empathize with every single character because it's about learning to see the world through other people's eyes rather than judging them from your own insignificant little slice of the world. So, it's a Disney fairy tale, but a little more mature, a little less unrealistic, and a little less likely to make you fucking throw up.
パーフェクトブルー
If you're normies like mindfucks, well then Perfect Blue is maybe the mindfuckiest of them all. This is the only movie I've ever seen where the first thing I did after watching it is start from the beginning and watch the entire thing again. It's about social media and where the line between person and persona breaks down. Not just for everyone else, but for you. If your entire life is shared on the internet, what part is real and what part is just who you want everyone else to think you are? And how do you know? Like, really know? And here's the really mindfucky part. This is easily the best commentary on social media ever written, and it was made back in goddamn 1997. This was literally 6 years before MySpace. You know, that thing that got replaced almost immediately by that one website you Zoomers refused to use after it got occupied by your boomer mom and all her weird fucking friends. That one.
岩窟王
Okay, so, they called Count of Monte Cristo the greatest revenge story of all time. Is that true? I don't know, but setting it in a space colony on the moon probably doesn't hurt. Yeah, this is arguably the greatest version of that, and that's exactly what this is. The greatest version of the greatest revenge story. It's not even an anime. It's not anime, made better by being anime. Except, as you can probably tell, it doesn't even look like any anime you ever seen because it's worth watching just for this wild traditional Japanese art meets fucking space colony on the moon style. Except for maybe that one scene where they get in mech battles in the early 2000s CG just kind of bleeds through, but yeah, it's fucking good.
進撃の巨人
Okay. I tried to avoid having the picks that fucking everyone would put on here, but we really couldn't avoid this one. Like, okay, no Dragon Ball, no Naruto, no fucking idiotic shonen anime that go on for like 600 episodes, but only have about 20 episodes of, you know, shit happening. But, I know, it's Attack on Titan. It's actually just that good, okay? Sure, you could tell your normies that it's about society living behind 100-meter walls for mysterious political reasons that wiped out the collective memories of humanity beyond 100 years ago, and that it somehow perfectly blends the underdog hero story with the mind-fuckingly deep political tensions in a weird fascist country that spends their entire life behind walls. Or we could realize that literally no one ever has ever taken a single look at the 3D maneuver gear and didn't think, wow, that's fucking cool, and just go back to the screaming. Ah, it's so fucking sick.
ブルーピリオド
Fuck you, this is art. Not as in, fuck you, blue period is art. I mean, it is, but as in, that's what it's about. It's about this dude just drifting through school with straight A's and no meaning or purpose in life until art slaps in the face and calls his name. There are few anime that can get me to cry in the first episode. This was one of them. And there are also very few anime that can completely change my perspective on something from just a few words. This was also one of those. Blue Period has a lot to say about finding purpose through hard work and suffering, and about expression of thoughts and feelings through art in a way words never can. For the artist in the family, I recommend Blue Period. Okay, before we go, there's two other anime I wanted to put on here, except for the fact that literally everyone and their mother would have, which would have made me the biggest normie of them all. So, Cowboy Bebop, existentialist space western about how nothing means anything and we're all going to die alone. And Death Note, kind of like Breaking Bad, but instead of being about a high school chemistry teacher that makes meth, it's about a Japanese college student being corrupted by the power to take a human life. Also a great choice. If you have any other recommendations, you can talk to me in the comments below, and as always, thank you so much for your time, friends, and I will see you in the next video.